welcome. Recording in progress. We are recording for the SFAI Memory Collection in a live studio with an audience of two at the SFAI archives. And we're going to be talking about the print department, our memories. I am Art Hazelwood. I taught at the Art Institute from 2013 till the first bankruptcy. I don't remember the sequence bankruptcies. 2020, around that time. And with me are two students, Whitney Humphreys and Yoni Asega.
Okay.
And we're going to, everybody represents a little different time. I mean, I was there the whole time, believe it or not. And we're just going to talk about what the print department was. We're not going to just talk about dirt about the print department. But what the effects of that over time was for us as artists, as people individually, what the experience was when we started out. So a casual conversation, and maybe we'll just let Yoni, you want to tell us when you were there and something about yourself?
Yeah. Yoni Asega attended SFAI from 2011 to 2015. I actually joined SFAI as a film major. Did that for about a year. I have a professor. I remember I had a professor. I can't remember the name. I see them at my farmer's market every Sunday. Knows I still live in California. And yeah, they hated my films. And I remember in like high school, I was making like bootleg Nike and Adidas t-shirts with like one of my good friends because we just didn't have money to buy clothes that was like fancy. So now I was like, forget film. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get into print. And I met Tim Berry. He was at the top of the stairs. He was like, "What you want to do with print? Tell me your history. Tell him about t-shirts." And he's like, "We're not doing any t-shirts here." As long as I promised him I wouldn't print a t-shirt, he let me into print. So
That hard to get in, was it?
yeah, yeah. But I'm thankful. Yeah, Tim helps kind of guide the way when you came into SFA as well. Like really steward my introduction into woodworking. But yeah, my main focus was screen printing as I joined SFAI. Big shouts out to Aaron and Terry, who taught there in my formative years. Learned so much about print, how to actually print on things that aren't just paper, that aren't t-shirts. But yeah, super thankful during my time there.
So you were there a bit earlier, 2011. You started.
2011. Yeah, I feel like I got in at such an interesting time. I feel like there was just this amazing lore of like the school and its history and its like weird kookiness. I feel like 2011 was kind of like the last grasp of that. And then, we got hit with just like the giant tech wave, a lot of artists getting pushed out of the Bay Area. And yeah, you kind of start to see small grasps of it kind of holding on. And I think a lot of that legacy. There was so many like amazing art spaces that happened around that time. Like I remember just walking around the Tenderloin, like middle of the night, just bopping from gallery show to gallery show, different activations in weird spaces. Uh, it felt so like lively during my formative years, which felt amazing. And not saying it wasn't lively after the fact, but
I mean, there's always, ebbs and flows at a school like.
yeah.
But I remember going out for banh mi with people from your cohort, Carlos Rodriguez and Juan Solis, and just saying to them, like, you guys are at a perfect moment right now. Like things are like coming together.
Yeah.
There's like a peak.
Yeah.
There's another peak later, but it seems like you're there at a peak.
Oh yeah, definitely there at a peak. I mean, so thankful for the cohort of artists that were attending at that same time. I feel like one of the biggest things that made me so attracted to print was that kind of community collective spirit. And also the sunlight. Like let's just say the film room Studio X, creepy. That was another reason why I left. I remember seeing a chair just like slide across the room in the middle of the night, and I just left my roll of film. I was like, all right, I'll come back tomorrow, take care of it.
Not wanted to hear.
Yeah, but like there was this like I think the thing that I to this day I'm in love with it was the fact that like the print department felt alive, right? Like like both like physically and emotionally, right? There was like a rhythm to it. When you saw people in the space and people were working, it was like either heads down and the machines were going, the printing presses were going, the sounds of like the squeegee hitting the screen, like everyone was like really keen to the noises that were happening, right? Like whether it be Carlos or someone's, playing a tape or a radio going off. Um, there was just like this energy that just kept people thriving. And I think that's still continued when people weren't in like production of print, right? Like this spirit of like people just kind of being in community and kind of being nosy in other people's projects was like such a beautiful thing where we like not only learn from the teachers, but we learn from one another. But I think, even in that, like you being a teacher, like you served your hours of teaching a class, but then you stayed there and you printed with us, right? Like you made your own projects and like being able to work alongside.
Contractually, I was not allowed to do.
Oh, really? Dang. I mean, but like, why would you not? It was free ink. It was like the only school that had
Right.
free ink. Like, I remember we brought so many friends that didn't go to SFAI to be like, what's up? You got a project? Like, let's collaborate. Like,
Right.
this place has the resources. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's conducive to the teachers that were there. Asega, are really thinking about print and all of its different facets, pushing book boundary to a whole nother level, introducing screen printing into it. Nat Swope also, like really emphasizing like screen printing and like the more technical aspects. Like there were so many levels of different types of printing that you could do, right? Like you could be fine art, like getting prints. Made for like exhibitions and gallery settings or printing for other artists, like years of craftsmanship, like Paul Maloney or like Tim Berry. And you could also be like making prints that are like for yourself or for the community that speak towards like a certain audience, right? That's not necessarily made for the museum world. And not not trying to pigeonhole Tim or Barry in that at all, but yeah,
Yeah.
there was a plethora of ways to learn about print.
There's a lot in there. And you came at a slightly different time.
Did,
A
yeah.
little bit later. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Well, I'm Whitney Humphreys. I was in the MFA/MA dual degree program from 2017 to 2020. So probably like right after that's like just the next time. But one of the main reasons that I decided to go to SFAI for grad school is because when I was in undergrad at UCSC, which you also went to, right?
Right, right.
Which had its own thriving printmaking department. I would come and visit SFAI because my best friend from high school was going at the time that you were there. So I was like witnessing this like peak moment that y'all are talking about, this like buzzy, like thriving art scene moment. I would like come and see it and hang out in the city and be like craving that energy. So when I was like, deciding what school to land at, that was like a massive factor of this. Like, I want to be a part of that. Like, I want to come to.
Wasn't the view.
That was a bonus.
Print department window.
Definitely once I came to visit the print department itself, I was like, this better be good because I want to go here. And I have really high expectations for the print department because UCSC's is also so lovely. And I remember like first visiting and being like really giddy because it was so beautiful. Like the spaces themselves are so like you said, the light in there is really beautiful. Like physically being in there felt really inspiring with the big beautiful view and the like different elevations of that really funky like the physicality of the space was really inspiring to me. The fact that you could be all in different spaces, but the sense of community that was shared with everybody working all at once was like permeating. Even if you're in like these little nooks and crannies, but
I remember students found sleeping in different nooks and crannies overnight.
Yeah.
Different parts of the print department, underneath the press or something like that.
Or like up in the loft area. Yeah. There's so much like I I remember feeling this like sense of possibility the whole time I was in there. Like, and when I first visited, that was like what had really inspired me of this like I want to use all this stuff, and I can tell there's like so much history, like you said, lore. There's like this deep lore that I felt like I wanted to tap into and participate in. I feel really fortunate that I got to. When I started my program, I was given advice by, I don't know, like a counselor or something, like, oh, you should just settle in, like, just start your MFA program. Like, you don't need to start like finding a student job or anything. Like, you should just like focus on making your work. And I was like, no, I'm going to start TAing right away. Like, that's what I want to do. I'm going to grad school because I want to teach printmaking, and I like hit the ground running with that. So most of my time in the print department was spent helping students like with teachers like you. And that was like a really interesting sort of in between, because I never like took a print, I guess I took like an upper division like special topics print class or something, but I never was a student in any of the like skill classes. I was always the teaching assistant for those, which was really like special. And I learned a lot about print that I already knew about from all these different perspectives.
Right. I mean, it wasn't that common for the TAs that I had to want to be teachers necessarily, but that was a drive for you from the beginning too. Because, I mean, I remember some of the administrators saying, TAs are just unnecessary. They had a view of it, TA as sort of like just a way to give a job to somebody or something. So,
Do you think that?
TA was essential. I mean, especially in screen print, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Such
gosh,
a messy process, and everybody all over the place, and
Yeah.
you can't keep up with even 15 students, right?
Yeah.
12 students or whatever it
What
was.
else to get about?
Yeah, with that kind of like process heavy situation, it's just like a lot of mess wrangling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I taught screen print and woodcut, relief print, uh, first and second level of both of those. And in one semester, I got to teach a political print class, which was great. We printed on the street at different actions, and
When was that?
Before Poster Syndicate? Oh, right.
I think it was the very early stages. We did a political show at the 518 Valencia Gallery, and I remember Maffer Hernandez never printed a screen print before. We're printing in front of the luggage store on Market Street, and she had to print for like 100 people waiting in line to get a free poster.
Wow.
So that was like maybe Poster Syndicate and just screen print political poster class
That's so cool.
mixed up there.
I remember waiting in line for the Great Tortilla Conspiracy print. Those were amazing.
Yeah, we did that at Fort Mason, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
were amazing. There was one in the Mission too, I think off of 24th Street that I attended. Yeah. So much fun.
Yeah, I just brought a tortilla for the archive here.
Oh.
I did a tortilla of well, you can see it. I don't know if you can, but there's a Diego Rivera. Yeah, you can see that there. Diego Rivera, it says SFAI mural is crossed out and says closed.
Oh.
Diego, but yeah, so I think I focused primarily on the technical aspect of printmaking. It was never really, and I think the Art Institute might not be the place that every department is focusing on technique, but it was always, especially teaching beginning relief or beginning screen, that technique is such a heavy thing. And I think for a lot of students coming to the Art Institute, the print department was kind of refuge from maybe maybe it's a place where they could just work and they didn't have to think. Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a special sort of in between of like you're in these classes to learn a formal skill primarily, to then hopefully like eventually like imbue your work with something else conceptually, but to sort of like strip that away, I think was a refuge sometimes for a lot of students of like just we're focusing on like how to do this and like the like physical process of like getting your hands to like do the type of mark making you want and to like experiment and explore and like see what types of marks you can make and to have that be the focus, I think, and especially a focus that did not require some skills like drawing all the time, like sometimes drawing, but it didn't always require it. I think it was a real draw for a lot of students. Something I noticed all the time, especially with your classes,
People said they can't draw.
every time, yeah, well, that, but every time, every class, there was at least like a minimum of 2 students who, by the end of the semester that I was TAing for you, would have switched their major from photo to print.
Yeah, there were a lot of photo majors at that time. So
Who would be like, I love photo because it's so processed and so like physical and you don't have to draw. And they're like, oh, but I can make something like closer to drawing or painting or works on paper in that way, like still like by using these like other tools. And I think that was really it was accessible to a lot of people and like exploded possibilities, I think.
you were very I mean, you're very technical oriented. You like really focus on the learning the techniques of different things. Like you mentioned, different teachers in that regard. But then I think the only class that we were in together was woodcut class.
Hmm.
Whenever
Yeah.
you did a Doberman pinch.
Yeah, I did one wood block with you. You taught me how to do it, and it was the best print I ever did. And I quit while I was ahead. That Doberman picture, I still hold it to this day. I think I got one left. Uh, but yeah, I loved it. I mean, I think that was the one, like my first time getting into an art form that like really allowed me to get loose, right? And like be open to the possibility. I mean, I started off screen printing, in my formative years. Then when I joined at SFAI, I remember I forget the teacher's name, last name, but it was Amy something. Do you remember?
Amy taught.
Amy Todd.
Yeah.
Amy Todd was my first screen printing course. And Amy,
She was
yeah,
teaching screen print.
yeah, she did screen printing one, maybe two or three even after. But I took the screen printing one with her, and yeah, it was very, very technical, and I think I loved it. I mean, I don't know, call me a masochist or whatever. I just like enjoyed kind of suffering and that like process element of like, what does it take to like code a screen properly, to get a file outputted in the way that you need it to. Uh, but yeah, that was just kind of my journey through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember Whitney, you were such a master at mixing colors. How you like mix colors, like show the students how you mix colors.
Yeah, you would always put me on the spot
Right.
to be like, okay, we've been doing black and white. Hello.
Somebody's at the door. Maybe we get somebody else in the audience.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'd like work with black or like one color for like half the semester. And then one day be like,
Really
okay,
different, yeah.
yeah, and be like, okay, we're doing color. Whitney's gonna give a demo on how to mix colors. And I'd be like, correct, yes. But that was always really fun. I have that like, is it a sunset or something? That was one of our demos for the color class. Because we also demoed like a blend roll, split
Right.
fountain. Yeah.
This was in relief or screen? Really?
That was in relief.
It was really. Did you find a challenge between the two?
A
Of
challenge
mixing
of
ink
mixing inks?
yeah.
Yeah, they're so different. The ink is different.
Yeah.
You put a little black in a screen printing, doesn't do anything. Put black in a relief ink, change the tone.
I know.
Yeah.
Pigments are so different.
But we get nerdy, talk about
I
nerdy.
know.
Yeah, sorry. I feel like I
No,
could
that's
there.
good.
It's so much part why we like the medium is that it's so technical.
Yeah. But I think you touched on something, Whitney, that I really have been thinking about is like, I think how the space was kind of set up, right? Like what was screen etching up top, second below that, right, was the kind of clean room, dark room. computer lab upstairs, right in the lofts.
The washout.
Washout, right? And then even below that was litho, more etching, letterpress, right? But then some folks would, who did screen printing or woodblock, would kind of just jump between the two spaces upstairs and down, and not the middle, I would say. But then there was something to that layout that I felt like, whether it have been, on purpose from like Mark or Tim during his former years there of setting up the spaces, I'm kind of like, uh, there's something about like being in that certain like process of making, right? Like the like pre-press, the like post-press, right? Or like
Right,
printing
but there's one
stage.
big room where you just walk from station to station, but you have like this sense of like, through a geographic space.
Yeah.
You're like doing the process in different spaces.
Yeah. And there was something to that that I felt like was real beautiful. I don't know. Like, did y'all experience that same, right? That feeling? I don't know.
I don't know. I really did. The whole like process, like heavy nature of all the print methods that require so much physical movement, physical change of space, and like using different sets of tools and at like different phases. I think that that's really appealing to a lot of people and definitely to me. And it feels like something that like taught me a lot of like life lessons, get cheesy. Like there's a type of like patience or appreciation for like prep and post work
Right.
that you develop when you learn to love all the steps. And like
I mean,
having
people
it
would come into screen print class and think, I'm gonna I'm gonna print today. And did you clean out your screen? All the steps that
Yeah.
are needed to be able to get to the point where they can actually print that day, and that need to plan things ahead of time.
Yeah.
I think that's a good life lesson.
It really is. And to learn to love those parts of it, I think can like open a lot of possibilities where it's not just something you have to get through. It's like critical, like essential steps to like get where you want to be.
I think at this point we should actually pay homage to Mark Thiessen, the studio manager.
Bless my
The best. We love you, Mike. Always and forever.
Yeah. We have a poster.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think in many ways a lot of what kept the whole studio together is Mark here represented as the worker from the Diego Rivera mural, right? This was probably 2014. I don't remember the exact year, but we unionized at this point, and a couple people, one student whose name I can't remember, but Drew Grosso and Carlos Rodriguez worked on this or made this. It was a relief print and turned into a screen print. And in the center here is Tim Berry, that's me, and Paul Malone. But the big worker in the center is Mark.
So critical for holding everything together.
Right. I mean, when I started, I came in the back door, the print studio. I left the back door. I didn't even know where the cafe was for the first year. I didn't have any like interaction with the rest of the campus at all. And we would do like weekend printing, and maybe we'd be in the parking lot having a barbecue. But my interaction with the other teachers, because nobody was teaching when I was teaching, or anybody else, it was always Mark. And Mark held everything together, like all the teachers that came in working one class or something. He would be the glue that held that all together. And of course the technical problems.
I know, like a print studio can't function without a manager like that to like manage all the equipment, keep the supplies flowing, and it's different than other media.
Yeah, and like really possessing like all that like technical knowledge, right? Like that people could geek out about. I mean, Mark would just like call you out for like how you coded your screen, or like really be like, oh, it's this one tiny screw in the Vandercook that's like coming undone. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
need to
Every
take a look
single
at
media,
this.
he knew everything about.
Yeah, right.
Like the
Yeah.
keeper of all this
Yeah.
like critical knowledge.
Hmm. Hmm.
I had him because I don't know I didn't know how to use those vacuum tables with the micro adjustments. You're a master at that. But I had Mark teach that, and it's like, great, hand that off to him.
What else is on our list to talk about? Do we want to talk about Poster Syndicate?
Well, yeah, so one of the things that came out of SFAI that still survives is the Poster Syndicate, which we were unionized, the adjunct faculty were unionized in 2013 or 14. And one of our first things was to print posters. Union came. Were you there then?
Yeah.
The union members came. I think we had a bunch of janitorial workers there, and we printed posters, and students were really into it, and they put the posters up all over campus. And the president at the time, I can't remember that guy's name, Charles something.
Charles Desmarais.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, Charles sent out an email saying it was a security threat to put up posters. And that's how Poster Syndicate was born, because that just outraged the students so much, they just wanted to do it more.
Yeah. We're like, oh yeah.
Okay.
Watch me.
So yeah, this was a union poster. This was when we were in bargaining, and it's two of the faculty, adjunct faculty on the bargaining team, Carolyn Duffy and Jessica Beard. Jessica's gone on to be a organizer with CTA.
This one too.
Got out of the business of teaching and into the business of actually having health insurance. Yeah, this was a student. A teacher. He taught Japanese printmaking, but I can't remember his name. Charles Coates. I think that.
I remember that.
So we have a lot of posters that we did, but I think probably the most important one is right here. Yes.
Critical.
We did during, the Art Institute phase of Poster Syndicate. Local hero cares about students.
Oh, I want this in my house. Who has?
We have extras. Yeah, I get some extras. Okay, well, yeah.
Sort of the legacy.
This is the first Trump administration. So
this is when I joined.
You were there for this?
I think so.
Okay. We printed at the airport when Trump was first elected, and we're giving this away at the
Oh,
airport.
it's been just before me.
Yeah. So because we unionized with SEIU, we ended up working with them on different actions, including this CCA union action. I'm wearing a CCA shirt at an SFAI talk, and why not? So that's one of the things that sort of carried on from SFAI and still continues to this day. Maybe, there are a lot of new people. Whitney's in Poster Syndicate. There's a lot of SFAI people in Poster Syndicate, but I wonder, if we talk about what did you carry on, or what carries on for you from SFAI? Will I take that?
Yeah, you go for it.
Yeah, I think what carries on for me from SFAI is I think that collaborative spirit. It's something that I really think about, especially I think from taking your class, right? Like we had actually I had that one class with you, but even outside of that class, like you stewarded this essence of disseminating knowledge and information and skill sets, right? Like how here's this problem that you're experiencing, I might not know how to solve it, but here's another person that I could connect you with. And I think this idea of not only sharing resources, but kind of connecting people with skill traits together is something that's kind of been connecting. I think after SFAI, I started to do a print shop in my own house for a little bit. Shouts out to Cal Spataki. I took a woodworking class with him. It's an art technology class, and I was in my senior year, and I was like, I don't want to do this project. I want to make my screen printing press because I'm about to graduate. And he let me do it. But I had a screen printing press in my house for a little bit. And a fellow artist at SFAI, Drew Grasso, had his own press in his studio in West Oakland. And we kind of worked together and ended up starting up a shop called Sunlight Editions and kind of brought that SFAI nature. I mean, Mark supported us big time. gave us a bunch of like old ink to really start off and make our first press and prints. I remember I still had the old like SFAI like printer for screens. I remember Mark was about to throw it away and he let me take it on graduation day.
Film printer?
Yeah, the film printer.
Wow.
I got one of those too. That was about to be thrown away.
I gave that printer away and it somehow came back to me. It's in my
Wow.
house now. But yeah, I think like that was like a real like formative part of my year that I think. And you know, we started this printing shop that really brought artists together and like taught them the different skill sets. So I think like you introducing me to like Juan Fuentes and Josh Santos, right? And like having other artists come to the spaces were amazing. I think, you know, as a person, you know, as a Black person at SFAI, which is predominantly like white dominated, and print as like an industry being very white dominated, like you helped bring people into my life that like really stewarded my path forward. So I appreciate you on that. Right.
You were saying that you did a like Clarion Alley mural,
Oh,
like a reproduction of a mural
yeah.
screen print. That was one of your first projects.
That was the first project that really started thinking about like custom printing for folks and kind of not only using print for my own methods, but yeah, providing that as a service for folks. I think yeah, I got really into CMYK. I remember I was like,
You were the master, I remember.
I spent hours printing the same image over and over and over again and testing the different variables. You know, like it was so hard to get skin tone in printmaking. And I was like, how do I really make black skin like pop out like so rich? And I was able to do that. I think, you know, shouts out to Nat who gave me like the formula for CMYK. And I think that was like the key component for me. And yeah, you gave me that job for Clarion Alley. And I was able to knock it out the park. You instilled that faith in me. And we went on for printing posters for Clarion Alley when we had Sunlight editions.
Right.
So yeah, shouts out to Clarion Alley. Yeah.
And what about you? Like, what did you carry on from SFAI in terms of like your art or your life after?
A lot of things similar to Yoni, a lot of the like community spirit and the like connectedness that I feel through printmaking, especially of like the reason I fell in love with print is that it's beyond it being this, as we've already talked about the process oriented part, but the community part, the fact that it's a communal situation that like like the way that it functions always, like even if you're like alone in your studio, you're like the memories of those who have like instilled all this knowledge for you are like present with you. But for the most part, it's a shared space. Like most of the time you're like in this communal space together, working with each other. You like need to learn these like different sets of skills. And like I think like I came into SFAI already wanting to work towards being an educator, and it like my time TAing for you and others was like really like solidified that completely of like that I was right. This is what I want. Like I love being a sort of a mentor for people who are learning these skills that I'm like so passionate about.
There's so many
Right.
things in screen print, especially that I think of when I'm printing. That's like, oh, this is a Whitney thing.
Really?
Mm.
Wow, that's cute.
I fulfill way too much ink in the screen, basically. It's like, oh, Whitney just used a little bit of ink. Same with relief, just a little bit.
Wow, I have a lot better from you. I remember there was one time you, the time that you taught this registration technique that we call the tentacles technique, I was losing my
Named by
mind.
Juliet.
Yeah.
It was like so transfixed. Like there's, you know, because I came into it being like, I know how to screen print, and still like there are so many skills to learn from different people coming at it from different places, and all the time that you spent with, yeah, these other like artists, like all the mission graphic artists and stuff, like all these other spaces of knowledge, like swirling together, I think is like at the foundation of everything that I do. Like so much of my own like projects have to do with like creating and facilitating spaces for other people to be creative together and learn from each other. That's like what I've really discovered is like my central passion. And I think being a part of Poster Syndicate is like really a big part of that, because it's all about like just sharing, like not like sharing for exchange or anything, but just like making sure that people can like learn about art and ways to be creative and express themselves together, and like giving people, empowering people to do that. I associate all of that with my time at SFAI.
Hey, Maria, I wonder if we could show those photos at this point.
Yeah,
You
I think
have-
that's a good idea. We get so many photos in the chat as well. They're so cool.
Oh my
Thanks
God.
everyone for sharing. But I'm gonna share the slideshow we have now.
Well,
This is Juan Fuentes' work right there. There's Juan.
Yeah.
Juan taught at the Art Institute before I did. I mean, actually, he recommended me for the job. So when Juan decided he was going to work on his own stuff more.
Yeah, you always had amazing visiting artists.
yeah.
That was your like signature thing in your classes.
I mean, I think one of the things that is so necessary in print is that print is often, I mean, okay, every media has its own feeling of being insecure, but print is not really talked about in the mainstream art history world.
Yeah.
So I always feel like there's a need to like connect people to contemporary and historic print.
Yeah.
I've made a big deal of that.
You did, yeah.
I remember I showed a like I would always show Kitty Kollwitz because she's like sort of iconic, especially relief print in the history of printmaking. And somebody first class looked at it and said, "It reminds me of the Lion King."
Legacies.
Okay, but a little bit of art history maybe is a good thing. Toru Sugita, who teaches at Diablo Valley College,
And because I met him right here after I took this photo, teeing for you, like because you connected me to him, I was able to cover for him when he went on sabbatical last year.
yeah, you taught 2 semesters, huh?
I did
Yeah.
for his class.
And you taught his daughter.
I did. Yeah. That was really special. Some
Whose ink is that?
I don't know.
That looks awfully messy.
It looks really messy.
It's like how the slot bucket is.
I think I
right
took the
here.
picture because it was like
Boy.
so crazy looking. Oh, that was from the I love the beautiful sign in the hallway.
Juan Solis did
Yeah.
all that.
Well, so Leeds Cruise.
Yeah.
And those prints were from the youth summer program. The high school students designed that poster collectively because it happened to be all like mostly girls in the class. And so
They were playing cards at camp.
yeah, they called themselves the Screen Queens and
Yeah.
designed this course.
Is this a TA? You were TA?
I was TA.
For Irene?
Yeah, for Irene for the youth program. That was so fun. I think that's the Japanese artist exchange, the Osaka
Okay.
school.
We were just looking at the big print of the Osaka Exchange print when Japanese students came here, and a bunch of the artists from SFAI and the artists from Osaka Art University together made a big collaborative print. You went on that trip.
I did, yeah. We went to Japan and we worked with artists there. It was so cool. Yeah, and Asuka was like our shepherd. She like took it on from someone.
Well, Greg
Yeah, Greg
Fiat
did
and
the-
Oscar Osawa did that
Yeah.
tour, right?
I don't think Greg was on the one I went.
Okay.
He sort of like passed the torch or something.
Okay.
But that was really, really special. Yeah. I don't know whose dog that
A
is.
dog. And a Griffin press.
A dog and a griffin. Two
The Griffin
griffins.
press was really dangerous, but it never got fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, I warned them so many times the press bed's going to fall out of that thing and kill somebody.
No, it did.
It
That's
never
me.
did, but it could have.
That's me.
Because
Getting my
Whitney-
screen.
pretty
My
rough.
broken screen. Still using it. It's got big tape all over it. I love that screen storage.
That
Such a-
little like corner of the printing studio was such a safe haven. I feel like I would always take over that little press when Mark upgraded it to the micro reg.
yeah, with
That was your spot.
That was my spot.
the suction table.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah. There's me again. That's when I was registering my like giant yardage. I printed like 20 yards of a toile or of wall, like a textile piece that I did for my big MFA
That was
show.
so nice. Like there was the knowledge that people had of how to go about printing yardage or something. I don't know who
Asega.
Asega is.
Yeah.
That is,
She
yeah.
like
Yeah.
did this whole segment like upon request, like outside of class hours to like teach everybody how to register in this style that's sort of like reminiscent of something you'd see in like those factories in India where they print the paper and the textiles with two people and they like
One
hold.
person takes the screen and one person prints.
Yeah, they're like on either side of the table and they like move the screen down. And so I like adopted that method to print my like massive yardage. And I took over the space and I had to like schedule it at like I kept coming in at like 9 in the morning because no one was there in the morning on the weekends. Because I was like, I'm gonna take over the whole table.
Sometimes you have to, though, you know.
But it was awesome. And there's some that was a different yardage project. I guess I did that all the time. But it was cool because people would come in and would teach them about it. Oh, that one's great.
That's Roy Regal, who was an MFA student in the 70s. This is his monumental woodcut print. And
I have some of his prints from the 70s from his
Yeah.
estate.
his widow just passed away. He passed away about 10 years ago. And so I'm taking care of that estate. That's
So-
Roy in the middle. Everybody thought it was Jerry Garcia, but it's actually Roy. His wife on one side, his doctor on the other.
I'd have to say I really appreciated, yeah, you bringing in artists and like emphasizing pulling out the archive and what it means to archive. I mean, you know, also Jeff, right? Like being a big pillar, I feel like there was times where I was stuck of like trying to get inspiration and trying to see what the mediums could do, and just like Jeff opening up some flat files and pulling out some prints, and you having artists come in, like it was such an amazing thing to be able to see what other artists are doing.
And the fact that they were so like physical, like that you could hold them in your hands, I think makes a big impact,
Right.
like for inspiration.
I think when I was in school, I saw, 20-foot tall projections of slideshows mostly. So
Yeah.
I didn't really get that kind of hands-on feel.
Yeah. And to like know how to archive, right? Preserve a print was, yeah, I think I learned a lot of that from the both of y'all. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was amazing. Signing prints. I remember you instilled that in a lot of the class
Right.
members.
Oh, the rules of signing.
The
Critical.
rules.
Critical. I really emphasize that. That's like the one thing I grade on. It's like, did you sign your prints right?
Yeah.
This is the view.
Yeah.
A beautiful view from that little balcony.
All right. Well, are we done with the slides here? Is that the closing one? We have to show off the, oh my goodness, that was the most important art piece we made the whole time. Fleeting,
You look so happy there.
don't I?
Yeah.
You're like, why did we do this project?
I just thought we should show this. Oh, yes, well, bronze roller. There's so many names on here.
Which one was the first one? Oh, you were saying earlier.
Enrique Chigoya was the first. He's supposed to be gigantic. Yeah, here's Enrique Chigoya. So they didn't think that anybody would come after him, or he didn't think anybody would come after him. But we got the bronze roller here at the
What's that?
here. Where's your name? Very tiny.
Yeah, fit all the way. I don't know.
You never got to hold it before. So
I've never held it. Oh my god, it's so heavy. Oh my
It's
god.
bronze.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. Yeah, I need to find it. Is there anyone after me?
I'm curious, what do you still keep going forward from SFAI in your years teaching
I
there?
know. Are you didn't answer the question?
Oh, I thought it was just. I think
Yeah, there's two.
the main
Yeah.
thing for me was the
Yeah.
really unionizing and being involved in different union actions after that. I mean, I was on the bargaining team for 4 years, 3 years. It took us a long time to get a contract with the school. And I think, like I said at the beginning, or earlier, I said, I didn't even know what a cafe was at first. And it was through the unionizing process that I met all these other faculty, that I became aware of the broader school. Sometimes as an adjunct faculty, you come in, you do your job, you get out. And so you don't have the connection. So I really feel like because of the union and because of Poster Syndicate, I got a broader connection with the whole SFAI community. And that carries on both through working with unions, because Poster Syndicate is very involved with different unions. We worked with SEIU quite often, and CFA, CTA, all these different unions. So I think, being an artist, I never really thought I would be a union guy because there aren't many union art positions. But yeah, that for me was the legacy. And then, the thing is, we talked about the community. I remember in the early days, I had night classes the first couple of years, which they stopped doing, but the class would end at 9. I wouldn't leave until 1 o'clock in the morning. And there were people there all the time, there's photos of people just like working till midnight all the time. And it was just a great atmosphere. And I've connected with a lot of those people still, and that keeps going.
Those late nights. Oh, I mean, I remember falling asleep on that big table, with my tea in the etching room sink. Yeah. Shouts out to the security guards who let us stay there.
Yeah.
Who helped us sneak projectors out of the AV closet. And we could watch movies while we print at night. David Tim, Adriana Adams.
Right.
Yeah, all these folks that we were just kicking it. Alejandro Juan Solis. Yeah, it was such a community for the late night hustle and bustle.
Right. Yeah, I remember that upstairs in the print loft, film night.
It was, film nights, parties. It was.
I wasn't there for those. I wasn't there.
Neither was I. Very studious.
Yeah, they would let us do it. The security guards would come in and be like, "You guys are working? Okay."
Remember, I took a letterpress class and I made counterfeit dollar bills, and I had it all laid out. And the security guard came in and was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna walk out." I didn't see nothing.
CMYK?
No, it was, I think, litho background color and then letterpress, for the black. But yeah. But the security guards, there were so many amazing pillars that made that space what it was, right? Outside of just the teachers. So I think those people need to be recognized, the folks at the cafe.
They would come in every night and they would close the back door, and then we would open the back door.
Yes,
Yeah.
Do we want to take questions?
Sure. Yeah.
Or do we want to summarize anything first? What is the
you had your last question.
I had this really maybe this is too crazy, but I was walking by the last surviving art school in the area, coming over here, the Academy of Art, and they had a slogan on the front. Their media campaign is "From Creator to Career," which was not really what SFAI is about.
Kind of gap.
And so what is that sort of essence of SFAI that you bring to your life now? It's not creator to career, or was it?
I feel like SFAI was not it didn't teach you how to be an artist, but how to think like an artist, right? I think that's one of the things that I cherish so much of, right? Even at the work I do, at Yerba Buena Center for the Arts, and from running a screen printing press, right? And opening up a new one, it's how do I work with other artists? How do I kind of make these curb cuts, right? To help assist and steward an artist's career path, right? And help emphasize the work more, right? So
I remember a story you told me about an artist you were working with who was doing work in a certain style in painting, I think, or something like this. And you had a way to ask them how to think about it differently in print. I don't remember the details of the story, but the way you told the story, it made me feel like this is really something you learned from being a student at the Art Institute, how to think differently in applying, make a change here. Think about it differently.
I think SFAI taught me to do a lot of studio visits, and the importance of that, right? One thing I loved is going to an artist studio, checking out what their tools and resources are, and inviting them over to our creative space and being like, let's just experiment. Like, this is what we have. I don't know what the language can be or what the market can look like, but just try it, right? Like, I think being able to be in like film and try out all these different like departments and mediums, like I feel like some folks didn't even know I was like fully in print because I would just bounce around a lot. And I think that's what you need to be an artist, right? To be more creative and to be more curious. I think the teachers, the students helped push that. So
I think I would agree with all of that. Like that, the first thing that came to mind when you asked the question is really similar. Of like, SFAI taught you how to think really critically about everything that you're doing, like all of the choices that you're making. Like, can you explain, or like, can you at least think about like what the reasons are for it, and like not always that there's like a correct reason or a good enough reason, but just that like, are you thinking, and like, have you thought about it other ways, and like, how is like the medium that you're choosing, or the different ones that you're moving between, like, how is the relationship to the processes you're working in affecting your work, and like, why is that the one you're using? And like, those types of questions felt like really, really, like, above all else, like the core questions of like, yeah, not how to be an artist, but how to think like an artist, how to like take what that means like deeper and deeper, like to keep like asking why like over and over and over, and
Good.
providing with a lot of tools for thinking, like lots of resources, like text resources, people to work with, like community resources, archives, like to like help you answer those questions, and like look at things from different perspectives, like historically or from those around you, and to, I feel like it was often a theme of like, okay, like you made a decision about what you're going to make, like what if you made it weirder again? It was like, what if you did it weird? I feel like that kept coming up, and it's something that I like really appreciate of like always like,
So you made it the way you wanted to make it, but what if you did like something like
totally different than that,
right, threw a curve at it or something?
that's true. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the professors really like pushed you. I mean, I don't know if y'all. I remember what holds near and dear to me. I took a class with like Bruce McGowan, and I remember feeling real comfortable. I'm not a drawer at all. And I felt really comfortable with my drawing that day. And I was going for it. And he comes up, looks at me, ruffles in his pocket for like 5 minutes, puts his fist on my table, looks at me, looks at my drawing, grabs my paper, and just erases it back to zero. And and he was like, start over. Like you draw like that all the time, like try these different techniques. And yeah, I don't know, it pushed me to really think in these different ways.
You didn't punch him.
No, why would I, Bruce? That's sweetheart. Nah, he was such a sweetheart.
He erased it. Wow, I should have tried that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
Erase the wood. I remember one student cut the block all the way to nothing.
That's
Whoa.
Just kept cutting, and there's like nothing left to cut.
Okay.
But that was his job.
you were kind of a harsh grader though.
Oh yeah, I think I gave a D to one guy who never came.
Yeah, so harsh.
Yeah. Do we have any questions?
Yeah.
We don't have
We
that much time.
have one question so far from Mara Ramirez. Art, do you remember when I dropped the guillotine handle on my head twice in one night?
If you remember, that's a good thing.
I never did again.
But that was kind of a dangerous piece of equipment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I do remember that night.
And then we're just getting all these amazing images. And I just want to let everyone know the SFAI Memory Collection is really for everyone to contribute. And on the SFAI SFAI.art website, there's a link. You can submit photos, videos, and also text. We don't talk about it enough. I think we should say it probably every talk, but this time we had like the best photos so far ever shared in the chat, and they're also amazing. So please consider. I'll put the link in the chat. But are there any other questions? And then I will stop the recording and you can say hi and open your windows. But if there is one more question, or maybe a summary from you guys.
We have a summary. I think that was pretty good, like Bruce McGaw erasing your drawing. That's pretty.
Yeah.
But you felt like that was like, you felt like it was a great thing because he pushed you in a new direction.
Pushed me in a new direction.
Yeah.
Ask those questions. Why am I drawing like this? Do I need to be drawing? And I have never drawn since.
It was a great thing. Maybe I think it's a good reflection of some of the like SFAI vibes, but the print vibes were always a little bit different. But I definitely felt pushed still of like,
Yeah, I don't think of it as a very harsh environment, the print department.
no.
I mean, we should say something about critiques because I think critiques is something a lot of people take away from being at the Art Institute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it about a critique that was helpful or not helpful? And a lot of people actually, I've heard say, I miss critiques, which seems like one of the oddest things because most people didn't like it at the time, right?
Yeah, it's hard to like, it's something that you may take for granted. And then when you leave the school environment, you're like, wait a minute. Now I understand why it was like so useful to have this like group of peers to like respond to my works and like I wish I had other people to like have these discussions with and like hear their responses. But it's one of those things that you like when you're especially an undergrad student, you're like, why are we doing this? And then later you're like, oh.
But like speaking on critiques too, I feel like there was in print there were so many different types of spaces for critique, right? Like not only like while you're printing, but there was like prints on the drying rack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was some, I guess it was like the hallway, but I feel like there was also other like kind of pegboard style places throughout the studios where you could post up your print and look at it from afar while you're printing and looking at different colors that like involuntarily someone would walk up and be like, why do you do it like that?
Yeah.
You know?
Or like in the middle of mixing colors.
The work is small enough so it can be shared more easily than say painted space or something. But yeah.
And the process is so long that there's like input that can be had at all the stages, just happenstantially with the people around you. And I treasure that for sure. Like,
and we had that hallway gallery. We put stuff up all the time.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions? Looks like there might be.
Okay.
There was one more question, who your favorite print monitor was. I don't know if you want to say that on video or off video. That was the question from Christian Costello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
We love you, Christian.
All right. Everyone, I know you have to hop off soon, but I'm going to stop the recording now. Is that okay, Art?
Be great. Yes, thank you.